Okay, so I'm going to teach you how an FHA appraiser values property, okay? And you need to really pay attention to this, because when you're meeting with a seller who's thinking about selling their house, this isn't income property, 2, 3, 4 units. It's just a house, a condo, or a townhouse. These are the rules that FHA follows as FHA appraisers in order to value a property, okay? So rule number one, I'm going to write these down one at a time. Rule number one is the property has to be like kind. And what we mean by like kind, if it's a house, it's got to be a house that's going to be similar to, okay? The other thing is too, it has to be plus or minus within 250 square feet of the property in question's square footage. So for example, if the property is a 1,000 square foot house, it has to be anywhere between 750 to 1,250 square feet. A house in the same neighborhood. What we mean by same neighborhood, it must be within, and write this down, this is extremely important, it must be within 0.50 miles of where the property is located, and same city and same school district. As we all know, certain school districts are more desirable than others, and same thing goes for cities. So even if a property, because I had this happen before, one of them, it was right on the border of Laverne, which is on this side of the street, and this side of the street was Pomona. Both had different cities, both had different school districts. And the seller was trying to say that his property, which is on this side of the street, was worth more because it was next to Laverne. But actually, the real problem was, it was actually in Pomona. And the value dropped by about 50K right then and there, okay? So that's how FHA looks at, similar properties. If, and this is a big if, and it's almost always, oh wait, sorry, I don't want to do if yet. What I want to do is, they have to be sold properties. Past tense, sold, not things currently for sale, sold properties within the last 90 days or less. Okay? So what they're looking for usually is 3 to 6 sold properties that are within that half mile, same city, same school district, within 250 square feet of that 1,000. If the appraiser is unable to meet that half mile level, they are allowed by the banks to go out to 1 mile max to find comparables that are sold. But it still has to be like kind, okay? And meet the other requirements. Now, you're going to have sellers who say, well, I have a pool, or I have a view, or I just put pink tile all over the floor. That's all subjective to what the appraiser wants to do, okay? So generally, here is what certain items will add to the value of a property. Write this down because it's really important. 1, a pool. They're really expensive to maintain, and you'd be surprised, but most appraisers, depending on the type of pool it is, will only give it a $5,000 or $10,000 value. Built-in barbecues, $2,000. If they say they have solar, depending on the value of it, they'll probably go up to $10,000. If it's completely remodeled, everything brand new, and they're including brand new appliances, they'll probably do a range anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000. Okay? Other than that, there's not a whole lot of things that they can have. View is 100% subjective. And what they might do is they may go back in history past that 90 days to see another property that has a similar view in the similar neighborhood, see what the price per square foot built was in order to get an idea of what they can do. If all else fails, and when I say all else, I mean all else fails, there is a 6. If you can't find anything under these parameters, what I would also do, even if you could find these parameters and you're talking to the seller, I would find out what the average square foot price is in the neighborhood. Find no more than 5 comparable properties, no more than that, because you'll start skewing the numbers badly. And, and figure out where they are in terms of the average price, and then take the square footage and multiply. It's just that simple. The other thing you can do is, if you're talking to a seller, is take a look at the mode, the median, and the mean. So what we mean by that is mode, median, mean. Mean is better known as the average. So if you have a property that is in a neighborhood where they're selling for 500, 525, 515, 500, and 495, forgive my scribble, but you get the idea. So the mode is the most common number in this list. So obviously 500 is the mode. The median is whatever the middle number from all of this is. And if you look at it, the median pretty much is going to be 515, okay? And then the average, you should remember from basic math classes, you want to add them all up and figure out how much it is divided by whatever the number is. So if we have 500, 500, 500, 500, and then 5 and 495 and 10 and 35, so 2535 divided by 5, divided by 5 is going to be 507. So that's going to be your average price per square foot. So what you say to your sellers is really simple. This is the mode, this is the median, this is the mean. I know, Mr. Seller, that this property will sell between 500 and 515,000, and that the average is 507. I know that if I'm in between here and we sell the property in between those two numbers, we will likely not have any appraisal issues from the bank, okay? Now, if they have a pool, if they have some of these other things that are up here, and they're like, well, I have a pool, I have a view, okay, not a problem. So we do have a sale in the area of 525, so let's shoot for that number, but you want to list the property for as low as possible. And the reason you want to do that is because you want lots of people going after the house. Where would I list this property? 488,888. And the reason I do that is I want everybody in God's green earth knocking down my door at the open house with offer in hand. I want to buy this house, and create an auction-like atmosphere. I guarantee you I'll get my price of 525, okay? So once you look at this, this is your basic way of valuing a property. If you're working with a luxury client who's got a multi-million-dollar property and you're just not sure what to do, get help from someone in your office that is experienced with with expensive homes, okay? If you have someone who is doing an income property, I'm going to cover that in a different video, and you need help, find someone in your office that's experienced with income property. And I don't mean 1 or 2 transactions. I'm talking they've done at least 10 or 20, okay? So that's how you do a basic appraisal, a basic estimate for your seller, okay? And last note, remember, you not only want to go and do your CMA, which is your consumer market opinion or customer market opinion, there's also something in the MLS that actually will do the title plus comps. And you can also do an actual title report from your title officer plus comps. And there's a reason I take all 3. If I take all 3 and I put all of these together in the median, and average and stuff like that, you know, it's really hard for them to argue with me, if you know what I mean. Because everybody thinks just because they painted their house purple that they should get more money for their house. And that's simply not true, okay? So make your life easier, do your homework, okay?